Effective. That's how a number of teachers, students, and other persons are describing a recent event held to boost awareness of intellectual property, often referred to as IP. Intellectual property, for those who don't know, refers to original creations of the mind. The common ones include music, artwork, and company names.
It's all about the IP awareness, the intellectual property. Now, folks, let me tell you, I was amazed to get to understand about all the importance of the intellectual property that I have learned here as a big man. And the simple things that we do and take for granted, you can actually earn money from it. So I will encourage anybody who is into gaming, filming, contents, just as a simple contents, whether you want to swim and video yourself, whether you want to run and video yourself, it's called contents, and you can, of course, protect your contents.
To properly protect one's intellectual property in order to earn from it, one should have it registered. Such registration is facilitated through the state-owned Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, otherwise called JIPO.
It is essential that we bear in mind the importance of protecting our intellectual property, because so many persons, two things, do not know how easy it is to identify when they have written something that they can consider their property intellectually. And then secondly, they don't even know that they need to protect it. And so having a day like this where we expose the students to the need to be aware of our intellectual property and the need to protect it is very important.
It is really important to me because I like to create a lot of different things. So to know that I can protect my work is really important to me.
In addition to carrying out functions such as registering intellectual property, JIPO is also tasked with improving public awareness on the importance and economic value of intellectual property rights. And that's exactly what it was doing on Wednesday, January 24, 2024, when it collaborated with Charlemont High School to host an awareness webinar at the school in Linstead, St. Catherine. Among the people in attendance who endorsed the move to promote intellectual property rights is Hopeton Henry, a former president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, who also served as president of the Charlemont High School Parent Teachers Association.
The issue of intellectual property is very, very important because students can develop their ideas, their creativity, their talents, and then the important thing is that they can have it registered as intellectual property and actually earn from it, which will add to the economy of Jamaica. And it is good to see that Charlemont, a school which is in one of these rural areas where these things are being brought to the students here. They didn't have to go into Kingston or go into the city to be able to learn about this thing.
The importance of today is to teach students how to protect their intellectual property, which is their creation, so no one can steal their work and they can benefit from it.
We're just informing the children about the need to be creative and to protect the works that they create. So they're learning about copyright, patent, and trademark. And I think this is important information for our children to know, because we're living in the age of information, in the age of technology and creativity. Our children are creating things. They are writers, they are songwriters, they are inventors, and they are the ones who are going to be business owners in the future, and they need to know what it is and how it is that they're supposed to protect their creative works. And so we are really grateful for this opportunity and the information that our children are learning about.
Today is a very important day for all students because it teaches them that their property, their creations are important and should be protected by them. And what I learned from today was there are many different ways people can use their creations to make money.
The event did not only cater to students and teachers of Charlemont High. The University of Technology as well as Excelsior Community College had booths at the location. And there was an online session that involved students from various other schools, including Ascot High, William Knibb High, and Calabar High.
So it was very important. Today was a good day. It introduces students to intellectual property and how they are to manage the things that they actually think of creatively and how they can safeguard it by registering it.
For the Charlemont High School, as well as other neighboring schools, right? We're a group, as in a We Animate group, and I'm a mentor within that group, right? So what my business does, my business basically takes care of games, campaign designs, logos, and various, but it's multifaceted where, as I said, it's a visual multimedia and a 3D design company, right? So under that, it covers a lot, all right? And as I said, that could be logos, illustrations, characters for games, animation, same for 2D, as in 2D animation for games, etc. We'll cut it short at that. For today, all that I do and all that I've worked on, these are different forms of intellectual property. Now, the intellectual property are not my own that I create for a client. I do that intellectual property work, but they own. And in terms of my side of the table, my illustrations, designs, etc., that are done for certain projects, I retain those rights. That becomes my intellectual property, which is why I also yield a royalty check at the end of the year, each year, right? So today's responsibility in terms of the Jaipur office, explaining IP, it teaches you how to create IP for another, as well as creating and establishing your own IP, right? And of course, you know that can go through different stages. You can have a trademark versus a copyright, and these carry different strengths to them.
Sharon McLean is an author as well as the head of the Language and Communications Department at Charlemont High School. And she would have been in contact with many of the students destined for the creative industries, such as music and the performing arts. She joined other educators in underscoring the importance of intellectual property and having students understand its importance at an early age.
In fact, as a teacher, I'm also a writer. One of the books on display today is my book that is called Morning Dew. It's a reflection, but I thought it was good to write such a book and also have it protected, because I'm demonstrating to the students that whatever you write, whatever you produce intellectually can be considered your property, and you should seek to protect it. Sometimes the students write beautiful stories in class that they generate of themselves, and they don't even know that these are things that they can publish. These are things that they can use as their property. And you never know, maybe over time, collect all the stories they have written and make a booklet out of it. And so I think it is very important to ensure that our students are aware of what is intellectual property and the need to ensure that when they have produced anything, whether it's a story, a poem, anything that they have done intellectually, that they need to seek to have it protected, because all of this, many times they don't realize it, can become a part of income generating for them. They can begin to generate some income. Many of them are seeking to get employment from somebody, but some of them have the skills to become writers and to generate income from these skills. And so today's activity is very, very important as we empower our students on the way forward in terms of their intellectual property and to make them aware of what they need to do.
Reporting from Linstead in St. Catherine, this is the Jamaica Beacon.